Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah. Today I want to just talk a little bit about developing and maintaining a relationship with the Quran. As we know, the month of Ramadan is almost ending, and many people do make a conscious effort to recite the Quran in the blessed month of Ramadan, meaning that it is a month which is related to the Quran itself. شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن. However, we all tend to neglect the reading and the recitation of the Quran the rest of the year. So it is something that we should maintain on a daily basis, just to open up the Quran, read 2 or 3 pages with reflection and to ponder over it, and also with a few goals in mind. First and foremost, a goal that we should put in front of us is to correct our recitation. It's so important, especially for non-Arabs and even some Arabs who don't have the pronunciation that's correct, to make sure that we are reading the Quran with the correct tajweed. The pronunciation of some words in Arabic, they can change the whole meaning. For example, the word qalb and the word kalb. It's a very fine difference in pronunciation. But qalb with a big qaf, it means heart, and kalb with a small kaf, it means dog. And there are hundreds of examples like this that we can put in front, where people who are reciting the Quran, reading the Quran, and not pronouncing it properly, they are actually misreading the Quran. They're not reading it properly, rather they're changing the meaning. So because of this sensitivity of the language, it's important that we, especially non-Arabs, learn how to correct the pronunciation of the letters. And this is a very, very basic requirement of the reading of the Quran. We're not even talking about beautifying the Quran or reading it with the full tajweed. Just pronouncing the letters, it's a very basic requirement that we are supposed to fulfill as Muslims. So this is the first goal we should have in mind. Secondly, to read the Quran on a daily basis, to keep a connection with the Quran. This is such an important thing. The word Quran itself is derived from the word qara'a, to recite. It means basically recitation. And the Quran is to be recited daily, hourly, as much as we can. And even if we cannot, read juz after juz, but a couple of pages a day. خَيْرُ الْأَعْمَالِ أَدْوَمُهَا وَإِنْ قَلَّ. The Prophet ﷺ said, the best of the deeds are the ones which are done consistently, even if they are less. So consistency is the key. Most of us, we have the Quran on our smartphones. If we don't, we can download an app. And there is nothing disrespectful about it. Some people are hesitant to download the Quran because they might have the Quran on their phone and they go to the bathroom, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It is just a digital format of the Quran that is on your phone, and to have it on your phone is not disrespectful at all. And the convenience of having it on your phone is such that you can open up the phone before your work. For example, your work starts at 9 a.m. You reach your work at 8:45 a.m. You have 15 minutes. So instead of just checking Facebook and WhatsApp, how about using those 15 minutes by putting the phone in airplane mode and just reading the Quran with the full concentration and devotion? So 15 minutes became valuable with the recitation of the Quran. You don't even have to keep a copy of your Quran in your pocket anymore. It's all on your smartphone. So to consistently read it is very important. And then some people, they say, they have the excuse, well, I haven't been reading the Quran since childhood, and I feel that I stutter a little bit and I may be making mistakes. Even the Prophet ﷺ, he mentioned in a hadith, for those people that have that kind of question in their minds. Aisha radiallahu ta'ala narrates that the Prophet ﷺ said, Al-Mahiru bil-Quran ma'a as-safaratil kiramil barara. The person who is an expert with the Quran, he will be, or he is, on the level of those noble scribes of the Quran, which are the angels that write the Quran. He is with those people. He is on a level, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts that person who reads the Quran properly on a level with those people that are the angels. However, وَالَّذِي يَقْرَأُ وَهُوَ عَلَيْهِ شَاقٌ, and according to another riwayah, وَهُوَ يَتَطَأْطَأُ فِيهِ فَلَهُ أَجْران. The person who recites the Quran and it's difficult for him and he stutters in its recitation, then he gets 2 rewards. He gets a double reward. He gets the reward for the recitation of it, and he gets a reward for the extra effort that he is exerting into reading the Quran. So really there's no excuse for us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to reward us extra for the effort that we are putting into the recitation of the Quran, especially when we are finding it difficult. So every single person can read the Quran, and there's absolutely no reason not to. It should be done on a daily basis, consistently, continuously. This is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's message to us as humanity. It is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's words for us, given to us by the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. It is a miracle of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And there are so many things that we can say about it. It's just, we would be giving hours and hours of lectures. But this ni'mah that we have, this letter that we have, it is something that we should really appreciate. And I'd like to just finish off by giving a beautiful example. To reflect on the meaning of the Quran and to understand its meaning. A person, his son goes away to study in a foreign country, and he loses contact with his son. Year after year, he checks his mail, nothing. He checks the people that are coming from that particular country that his son went to and asks them whether they have any news about his son, nothing. Finally, after years of waiting, a letter comes from the country that son went to, and he opens it up excitedly, wondering what happened to his son, and he finds that the language of that letter that the son has written, it's in the foreign language of the country that he has adopted. So what do you think this father is going to do with this letter? Do you think that he's going to just set it up in a mantelpiece or frame it? No, he's going to go to every single person that he can to try to get an interpretation of that letter and to try to get it translated so that he can find out what happened to his son. So the Quran is in a language that may be foreign to us, in the fact that we're not born speaking Arabic. We don't speak Arabic at home. And even, unfortunately, many of the Arabs don't speak the literary and the classical Arabic that the Quran is in. So to learn the language so that we can appreciate what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying to us, and we can appreciate the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is incumbent upon us. And as Muslims, we should have more eagerness to learn the meaning of the Quran than that father had to learn the meaning of the letter that he got from his son after many years. Why? Because understanding the meaning and reflecting upon the meaning, pondering upon the meaning and implementing the meaning, it's the means of our eternal success in the hereafter. And if we don't know what the Quran is saying to us, then we are basically leading our life blindly, just following along either our own whims and desires, or just practicing the same old things that we were taught in childhood, not knowing whether we are doing right or whether we're doing wrong. So to learn the meaning of the Quran, it's essential, it's important, it's imperative. And as Muslims, we should make it a goal of ourselves that we will learn what the meaning of the Quran is. At the very least, at the very minimum, we should understand the meaning by looking at a tafsir, a translation. A translation and then the explanation of that. There are many good tafsir that are available. Tafsir ibn Kathir is available in English. It's available in Urdu. Ma'arif al-Quran, Mufti Shafi Saab's explanation of the Quran, Tafhim al-Quran, and many others that are available that we should benefit from, just so that we can understand what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to say to us. So we don't have to go as far as to learn the language, which is the best thing we could do. But if we cannot do that, the very least we can do is devote some of our time to reading the tafsir of the Quran, so that we can understand what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying to us. And like I said, this month of Ramadan is finishing soon. We should not limit our connection with the Quran simply for the month of Ramadan. I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us tawfiq to understand and practice what is being said and heard.